The following featured presentation is part of the Skywalking Network.
This is what you can look forward to on episode 413 of Skywalking Through Neverland. I hear Battle of Sexes, Battle of Sex. I don't know why.
This particular one is because I had 2-hour deadline to get a second printed.
You combine Star Wars and Disney, and you do Star Tours and make me the Rebel Spy.
Oh, are you talking about the Hippogriff? Flight of the Hippogriff, which is like the kiddie roller coaster?
Yes. I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up, but yes.
Like, we're higher than Elton John on their list of gigs to go to. That puts it where it is, yeah.
This is like the first of its kind. We've been calling it a convention, or sorry, a con-festival. Like half convention, half festival, because we don't know what it is.
Yeah, this is after she and Anakin had just spent a night together. You think she would be smiling. So if anyone comes up to you at Celebration and gives you the secret word of Probot, what do they get?
Are you ready?
Off to Neverland!
Here we go!
A long time ago, in a galaxy far, far away.
To all who come to this happy place, welcome. Disneyland is your land.
When I first made Star Wars, everybody in Hollywood said, well, this is a movie Disney should have made.
You're more than just fans. You're family.
Best day ever!
Secrets love. It's about family, and that's what's so powerful about it.
Hey.
When you use a bird to write with, it's called tweeting.
When we visit the world of Disney, we never grow old. It's a Peter Pan, Never land that keeps us young in heart.
This is Jedi Master Obi-Wan Kenobi, and you are skywalking through Neverland. I have a good feeling about this.
Hey, Skywalkers! Celebration is just around the corner. What do you have your eye on? What parties will you be attending? There's just so much happening, and we want to tell you all about it. But right now, let's welcome you back to Skywalking Through Neverland. I am Richard Woloski, but now everyone please say hello to my sweetie wife Sarah, who's still grinning ear from ear because she was hugged by Joe Shirley.
The composer for The Mandalorian, Season 3 and Book of Boba Fett. We had an amazing one-on-one interview with him at WonderCon, and it was like 15 minutes. We got a lot of time in the press room, and at the end, he gave me a hug. Oh, it was so sweet.
See, she's still grinning. Look at that.
Yeah.
Can't pry that smile off your face.
And if you want to hear that interview, it is on YouTube right now. It's a video, so you can see, us talking, and you learn a lot of things. You can infer a lot of things about the storytelling for season 3 of The Mandalorian from it, including Bo-Katan, the pirate captain Gorian Shard, some of where the story is gonna go. You gotta watch it.
Yeah,
it's amazing.
This guy was just so nice, and I think next year he'll be hitting high school age. If you told me he looks like 13, I'd believe you. A very young looking dapper man.
Yes.
Very, very nice.
Mm-hmm. Welcome, Nick. Thank you for commenting on all of our videos. Like, amazing. Thank you so much.
Yeah, the Sky Chat is hopping.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are your enthusiastic podcast destination for the many decades of your Star Wars, Disney, and Marvel fandom.
So imagine a big Wookiee hug and a sprinkle of pixie dust for our family of Skywalkers. We make sure to do that every week so that you guys can get through the week.
Yes, a Wookiee hug, pixie dust, and a big hug from Joseph Shirley.
Yes. All right, coming up on this episode, we will be speaking with Jason Christman, who has new artwork in the Celebration Art Show. And if you like The Empire Strikes Back, probe droids, and a snowy Hoth landscape, then Jason has the print for you.
We'll also be speaking with Martin Keeler, Jed Shepherd, and Mark Hamilton, the organizers for #Cantina, and this is the big mega party to attend on April the 9th. So many Star Wars celebrities, so many bands. You are never going to sleep.
No, not at all. Now, we are being sponsored by Small World Vacations, and they are a diamond-level Disney vacation planner travel agency and can help you book your trip to Disney parks around the world. And best of all, their service is free of charge. So head to smallworldvacations.com for a no-obligation price quote and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, we are recording this from Long Beach, California on March the 28th, 2023.
Oh, so Richard, so what happened today in Star Wars history?
That was a very good improv. Well, 38 years ago, on March the 28th, 1985, the Star Wars trilogy plays in movie theaters as a triple bill in a one-day, 8-city event for the first time in the United States. And I recall seeing these news stories on like Entertainment Tonight.
People standing in line for up to 2 days usually indicates the advent of something special. For these folks, it was a one-time chance to celebrate the re-release of Return of the Jedi at a special showing of the entire Star Wars trilogy. But why would a crowd of Star Wars veterans spend $10 and 6 hours to see the movies again?
I know that sounds crazy, but Star Wars is a good movie.
Because I really enjoy the Star Wars series. High-quality film, and you're not going to see anything like that anywhere.
In New York, there were lines, too. Typically, New York lines.
Since 2 o'clock in the morning, 14 hours, my friend and I were arrested for being delinquents at 9 o'clock in the morning, courtesy to the police here. We were standing on line about 9 o'clock in the morning, and my friend Richard and I were...
I had an argument with my wife. Thank you.
It is. It's a once in a lifetime. You never see us again.
I can sit through almost anything, especially with Darth Vader in it. I love him. He is great.
A poster was accompanying this marathon, and these are like the most highly sought after Star Wars posters.
Really?
One sells at an auction in 2014 for over $20,000.
Oh my goodness.
Ask me if I have one.
Do you have one?
Nope, I don't.
Oh.
I do not have one of these.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Then, 16 years ago on today's date, March the 28th, but in 2007, 15 first-class stamps with Star Wars characters and vehicles are unveiled at the Grauman's Chinese Theater in Hollywood. And do you know who was at that ceremony?
You were?
No, not me.
Oh, man.
It was Max, our good friend Max Cervantes. He was there as Boba Fett.
Now, okay, so this happened in 2007. I remember the beginning of Star Wars Celebration 4 in Los Angeles. They had a whole ceremony about these stamps.
Yes.
So this wasn't the same thing.
No, this they unveiled the designs.
Okay, at the Grauman's Chinese Theater?
At the Grauman's Chinese Theater, yes.
So what did they unveil?
But then, okay, during Celebration 4, which happened on the May 25th weekend.
Yes.
To celebrate Star Wars' 30th anniversary, the Postal Service invites the public to vote on its favorite of the 15 images on the Star Wars stamp sheet, and that all rolled in with Celebration.
Oh, so the winner was announced there at Celebration.
Yes.
Now I remember. And they unveiled like a big poster of Yoda.
Yes, exactly. So on March 28th, the public could vote on all of the stamps. So which one was going to be unveiled as the primary stamp to be released in October.
Right. So all the stamps were released, but that design had its own sheet of all Yodas.
Exactly.
Okay. And
yeah, there's so many dates around the Star Wars stamps.
Yeah. Okay. Now the most horrifying thing about this date in Star Wars history is that it was 16 years ago. Because I clearly remember this, and it was 16 years ago. It's like ridiculous. Oh my god.
Oh, you know what? I still have my Star Wars stamps. Oh, right in back of me in my display case.
You can't get them out.
And since there's been so many other Star Wars stamps, we just had a droid sheet released. I think it was 2020.
Yeah. Well.
And before then, there were other Star Wars themed stamps.
Yeah, and some really cool. It was money from New Zealand.
Yeah.
Or Australia.
Yes.
Yeah, one of those
places that had actual Star Wars money. Yeah. If you look at my other display case, you'll see some of that.
Yeah.
And you know what? Speaking of Martin Keeler, who's going to be on the show in a little bit, he gave us a set of Star Wars stamps from England.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And yeah, okay, speaking of Star Wars stamps, back in 1977, a kit was released, Star Wars stamps. Back when there were so little memorabilia going out, like what can we put a Star Wars label on and get it out there very quickly? There was like these little a kit with an X-wing and TIE fighter on it, and it was a Star Wars kit of stamps. They weren't stamps that you could actually use to mail something, just like little stickers.
Oh, okay. Got it.
I have to admit, this was not something I ever really had my eye on, because it was stamps.
Yeah.
I could get a stamp or an action figure.
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
Right. But I did happen to get one, this kit, later at a convention. I've never opened it, so I've got no idea what's inside. after all this time. All right. With that, Sarah, let's move on to things we want to share.
Things we want to share. Things we want to share. Things we want to share.
Well, over the past weekend, March 24th through 26th, we had WonderCon in Anaheim, and that is where we interviewed Mandalorian composer Joseph Shirley. And I know we talked about that at the top of the show, but it's really exciting, so we just wanted to mention it one more time.
First, we saw the panel with Joseph Shirley and other composers and musical supervisors. But then when we got in the press room, what did Joseph Shirley say to us? I really wanted to talk to you two because I liked your jackets.
Yeah, because we had Mandalorian jackets on.
So. Yeah, you had your Mandalorian jacket.
Bomber jacket. Mm-hmm.
And I had my Galactic Star Cruiser jacket.
Yeah.
And we're sitting right there in the front row.
Yep. Yeah, it was awesome. So it's just a really fantastic interview. It's on our YouTube channel right now. We will also put a link in the show notes to that interview. So make sure to check it out.
Yeah, and also check out our Instagram account because we put a lot of cosplay videos and other Bo-Katan videos all around WonderCon.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we're also delving into the world of YouTube Shorts, everybody. So a lot of those will also be on YouTube as well. But if you want to see some fantastic cosplay, check out Instagram or YouTube at Skywalking Pod.
So then, looking forward, on April 15th, we're going to be at Anacon in Anaheim, California. This is a comics and sci-fi little convention at the library, at the Anaheim Public Library. Then on Saturday, May 13th, we'll be at Comic Fest in Santa Fe Springs. That's another library event. Then on May the 20th through 21st is Ontario Comic-Con in Ontario, California. And there we'll have all of our books up.
Yep. All of the books for sale.
Today in Star Wars History, which we sold a couple at WonderCon, and Skywalking Through Your Fandom.
Yes. That's going to be amazing. The interactive notebook, workbook. So much fun. We can't wait to debut that. Now, Memorial Day weekend, we might be traveling to a convention in Houston. So stay tuned for details about that.
All right, now let's speak with Jason W. Christman about the Celebration Art Show and some standout art pieces.
Star Wars Celebration. Star Wars Celebration. Let's celebrate.
Star Wars Celebration has something for everyone. But one highlight that gets many fans so excited is the art show. And taking part is Jason W. Christman, who is back with his brand new piece, We Have a Visitor.
And now we have a visitor.
Hey, Jason!
Hey, guys. Good to be back.
Good to have you back. And speaking of coming back, if I'm not mistaken, this is your 6th time in the Celebration Art Show?
Very luckily, yes. This is my 6th time. There's only one I didn't get in since I've started submitting, and that was in 2020, which didn't end up happening anyways. So.
Oh.
Wait a minute.
Wow.
Was there a 2020? I don't remember.
There was. They did do the art. They did do the art show online that year for Celebration. Yeah.
Oh, really?
Oh.
It wasn't, anything to write home about.
I didn't realize that.
No. Okay. Well, when you can't be there in person and see the pieces, it's really hard to judge.
Yeah.
Yeah. But this year you have an Empire Strikes Back
Mhm.
piece. We have a visitor. So can you tell us all about this one? Describe it to our listeners.
I wanted to do some droid pieces. Droids are one character avenue I haven't gone down so much yet in my work. And so I didn't mean to start with an Imperial probe droid. It's not like, everyone's favorite. It just made a huge impact on me. Empire Strikes Back being one of fans' favorites films. It was in the opening scene. It had that menacing hum and evil communication sounds. It sounded so evil. Even Han Solo said, "It doesn't sound friendly, whatever it is."
Yeah. And I think one of the most striking things, it's mostly blue, and then you have the silhouette of
Mhm.
the probe droid, but behind it is this Hoth
Yeah.
landscape. And it's varying shades of blue. And then in the top left corner, you have what, the sun is shining into the scene. So it's like this cold, hard sunlight. And you have these awesome halo effects of the lighting of that sun. So how did you achieve these lighting effects in here? Because I think that's the most striking part of this piece.
All the artwork is first done in Illustrator. So it's all clean vector art. I can make it any size I want to from that point. But I do all the layout and coloring and lighting effects in Photoshop. So it's really all about brushing and color, lots of layers, lots of overlays and screening and multiplying layers. You got to pick the right objective to do with the layer, not just layers on top of each other, but blending the layers together. The halo effect that you were talking about that has a little bit of a rainbow, I try to make that particular flare feel cold to give it that crystallized cold air effect that you can kind of see when you blow your breath out up in the mountains, kind of look. I actually did another Hoth print years ago with the snowspeeder as its main focal point. And all the prints, all the characters behind it were like an AT-AT and the Tauntaun and the giant shooting nipple gun, that they had.
Oh, the ion cannon?
The ion cannon, thank you, yes. I had the Family Guy version in my head. And this print, I wanted to make sure was different from that one. Same colors, same planet. Yeah, there is a speeder in this one as well, but it's a little guy off in the background. And there was no probe droid in the other print. I had him in there originally, but I started to pull back characters on the other print because it was too much. So I really wanted to bring this guy back into a print. I just love the probe droid. It's just a menacing character in the movie. I also have him another probe. It could be a probe droid. It could be a meteor, right? Because there's a lot of meteors in the system, right? So I have one in the sky in the background there coming through the atmosphere as well.
When Topps put out their first wave of Empire Strikes Back cards, they called it the Probot.
Oh.
So whenever someone would mention the probe droid, it's like, what's a probe droid? I know what a probot is. What's a probe droid?
How funny.
Yeah, and I believe even on the Kenner toy, they called it a probot.
Chewie, an Imperial probot is searching for the rebel base.
It's Kenner's turret and probot playset. You have to put it together.
Wow.
I thought it was two different droids.
Well, Princess Leia called it an Imperial probe droid. And that's what I was kind of going back and forth, like, what do I call this print? Probot would have been a great name for it, actually.
All the first generation fans would have gone, we know exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah.
Now I wish I had renamed it. I named it We Have a Visitor because that's what, the Rebel General said when they first found it.
Princess, we have a visitor.
This print is 13 by 19 inches.
Nice.
I couldn't go much bigger than that because, when you're carrying 300 sheets of paper across to Europe, it's very heavy. So super heavy. Paper is so heavy. So actually, I have the print here. This is the size of the print here. So it's a pretty decent size.
Ooh, that's amazing.
I've always loved how you've done your lighting effects.
Mm-hmm.
Every single one of your prints, you really highlight your special, unique method of lighting.
Thank you. Yeah, some of them are easy. Some of them are hard to do.
And your pre-orders are all sold out.
The pre-sale ended. I was 8 short of selling out of the pre-sale. So that just means that there's 8 plus more at the show that you can buy. They always reserve 50 prints for the show, no matter how many you sell in the pre-sale. So I will have 58 more of these left at the show that you can still buy.
Come Sunday, there won't be any left.
You mean Monday? This show is from Friday to Monday.
Oh, that's right, Monday. Yeah, I keep forgetting that.
Monday is going to be an interesting day. I'm really curious to see how Monday is going to play out.
Yeah, since we're not able to attend this year, I haven't really committed the schedule to memory. Yeah, how much is this going for in American dollars? Because if you go by pounds, I won't know how to convert that.
Okay, yeah. So American dollars, it would be probably around $70 to $75 American. It's 60 pounds.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So it's close, maybe like 71, 72. I know it changes, right, from day to day.
Yeah, that's one of the reasons why we're not going to Celebration, because I can't convert money to pounds. It is one of those things I just cannot get my head around.
I just put it all on a credit card. Let the banks deal with it. And then it's way more than you expected, because this Uber ride cost me $100, and you get home and it's like $125. Oh man. So yeah, you forget sometimes.
I love the fact that you did zero in on the probe droid, because we've seen a lot of probe droids recently in Obi-Wan Kenobi. We've seen them in the Star Wars Rebels. We see one in the Rise of the Resistance attraction at Disneyland. So I know you're an R2 builder, but do you ever think you're going to be building a probe droid?
Not after seeing someone else build one.
Oh, wow.
There was one at Celebration Anaheim, and they even walked around with it.
Yes.
It was massive. Massive. I have a hard enough time finding a place for R2 here at our house, let alone a probe droid. But I did have, another reason why I wanted the probe droid is because on my desk is a probe droid about this tall. It's plastic, it's all wrapped up, ready to go to the show at the moment, because I'm going to have them on my table. But yeah, it was only, it's only like this big. It came with a Darth Vader. It was like a dual set of some Hoth toy set. I actually held it up. I made a white monitor. I held it up and moved the arms around in all different configurations. I kept taking photos of it, so it was a cool looking silhouette, and just took the different arm positions and was able to figure out what was the best way to make his legs, because there's so many you can make them, they move around so much, you can make them any way you want. The way I did them, though, the arm that's on the right is exactly the same angle and shape it was in the movie as it was moving, except it was going the opposite direction.
Yeah.
So it was moving from right to left in the movie, and its arm was, doing that crooked arm, just like it looks there. So I tried to make something subliminally familiar.
Oh, very much so.
Yeah, and the movement that's created with his laser beam and that arm, you can really just see it moving across the landscape. Did you actually start with the concept of a probe droid, or did you have some other iterations first before you landed on this?
To be honest with you, I did this on a whim. This was my second piece. You could submit 2 pieces to Celebration. You can only have one print, obviously, in the show. So even if they like both of them, you have to pick one. And I worked for a long time on a completely different print of Emperor Palpatine on his throne in Return of the Jedi, with the big window behind him and the battle scene in the background, And I thought, this is it, 40th anniversary of Return of the Jedi. This is going to be it. The very last day of submitting, I said, you know what? I should submit another print just because I can, and just to up my chances of getting in the show. So in 2 hours' time, I created a concept print of this print and submitted it, thinking like, maybe they'll like it. But then, and this is the one that got selected, which I was very surprised about. Now, it's come a long ways since that 2-hour little concept. I mean, I didn't even use a real probe droid silhouette. I just found a piece of font webbing that was a probe droid and threw it in there.
Oh my goodness. Just to showcase your concept before you actually put in the work. Yeah.
Just it's only proof of concept, right? And
Right.
it still got selected. I mean, and then when I started, looking at the details of a probe droid compared to this little webbing I typed in and filled up the page with, I was like, oh yeah, it's way different looking than what that webbing is. But the concept was there, and they recognized that.
That's so interesting that, it's Return of the Jedi, like you said, 40th anniversary, and yet they chose this Empire Strikes Back piece. Interesting.
Is there a way to see your Return of the Jedi piece anywhere?
There.
Oh, it's right above you.
There it is.
Ask and you shall receive.
Wow, that looks cool.
Now, is this one available on your website, or is this one just for you?
That is just for me. I am thinking about submitting it to Acme for a future license. They won't license it if they watch this, but because it's already been shown. But I have been lagging in submitting prints over the past few years to Acme. I think last year I had Jabba's Palace come out, which was a long panoramic like the Cantina print I did. This whole past year, I haven't done anything. From Celebration, it's been less than a year since last Celebration, right? So there's not a lot of time between these two celebrations.
That leads into my next question. Is that why you went minimalistic on this one? Because your last couple of prints with Jabba's Palace and the Death Star were just so heavily involved in storytelling. And this one here is very minimalistic. Is that why you went that direction?
Well, I mean, this particular one is because I had 2-hour deadline to get a second print in.
So the answer is yes.
But I do love minimalist art, obviously. And, originally I was all about color and texture, my early days of doing licensed work with Lucasfilms. And then I kind of moved into more lighting effects and brighter colors and stuff. And I'm still kind of on that path a little bit. It's evolving. And sometimes it's less and sometimes it's more. Like my original prints are just quotes with silhouettes of ships. And then there's some kind of textured colored background, very plain and simple, but it gets to the point. Plus I'm trying to do stuff where people can hang these in their homes with a spouse who's not Star Wars friendly,
Wait, what?
I know, right?
What is this? What is this concept?
All right, well, let me bring it back a little bit. I'm trying to hang these up in my own house.
Oh, now we're getting personal.
Got it.
My spouse is not as Star Wars friendly. She's very Disney. If you ask her anywhere in the world, where would you go? She would say Disneyland every time. She would rather go to Disneyland than to Greece. I know she's a Disney fanatic.
Us too.
Oh, we get it, yeah.
And I'm a Star Wars fanatic, But we've always been like, we like the exact opposite stuff. But now, in the past 8 years since Disney's owned Star Wars, we've been like, hey, best of both worlds, And
I got a concept for your next piece. You combine Star Wars and Disney, and you do Star Tours and make me the Rebel Spy. What do you say?
I've never been the Rebel Spy either.
Yeah, but do you go like 3 times a week?
No. That's crazy.
I know, which is why we made a whole film about it. So I'm just throwing the concept out there.
Yeah. Last time I was on that ride, I got dizzy. The older you get, the more these little motion ride things are not good for you, man. I was like, oh man, don't sit in the back row.
Yeah, it was the Hufflepuff ride at Universal that did me in.
You mean the Harry Potter
Forbidden
Journey?
That's when I thought, okay, I'm at the age where I can't do these big, fast roller coasters anymore.
Are you talking about the Hippogriff? Flight of the Hippogriff, which is like the kiddie roller coaster?
Yes. I was hoping you wouldn't bring that up, but yes. Even that little goofy roller coaster we did at Mickey's Toontown, really? I was getting kind of squeamish.
Man.
Oh, I'm sorry. I guess that's what I have to look forward to in 12 years.
Really? You know what? You can see yourself out, okay? All right, now let's talk about these other Celebration art selections.
Yeah, let's look at them.
I don't want to ask you your favorite, but which one really spoke to you?
I really love Protectors which is Al's print of a little boy and his dog seeing his reflection of the Mandalorian and Grogu.
Mm-hmm.
That's like every kid's fantasy is playing Star Wars, right? When you're that age and seeing yourself as the characters. And that's what that print is all about. I just love that print kind of gets me right here when you see it.
Now, I've seen this theme at other celebrations. Is it the same artist where little kids are looking into a window or reflection, they're seeing themselves as the hero?
Last year he did Ahsoka. Yeah.
Yeah.
He did Ahsoka last year. Mm-hmm.
He's also done one with Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
A little girl dressed and then looking at Wonder Woman.
Mm-hmm.
And he said that he got the inspiration from his daughter.
Right.
But it's a great series.
Oh, it's fabulous. And he's such a great artist in his own right. He is one, you know who Christian Wagner is? He's done the Reflection series where you can see the reflection of another character and their helmets and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, right, yes.
He worked under Christian Wagner for a long time.
Okay, yeah, you can see the crossing themes.
Yeah, so yeah, the reflection, there you go. Another print I just loved to death was My Only Hope by Trisha
Benson,
I love that piece. I love that scene with Leia and R2 and then seeing young Leia. It's just a great depiction, and it's a great way to bring the Kenobi series into the art show as well. So that was one of my favorites.
Yeah, one side you have Leia putting the data discs inside of R2, and the other side is Obi-Wan kneeling with little Leia.
Right, and they're on that planet that looks like...
The neon planet.
The neon planet, yeah. Yeah, that's neat.
Chrissy Chung, A World Between Worlds, the Ahsoka print with the triangle. That one is one of my favorites because she did a Darth Maul version that is kind of a sister print to this from Celebration Chicago. So those two side by side would look fantastic next to each other.
Wow.
I wonder if this is a way of previewing the TV series, because here we have the Rosario Dawson Ahsoka coming through the World Between Worlds. Like, wait a minute, do you know something that we don't?
Yeah.
Right. And you know, Chrissy's art is, I've seen it on Disney Plus, you know, on the header art, the big artwork on top that you can kind of swipe through before you see all the boxes of shows below. Her art's up there from time to time. So maybe she does have some insight here on this Ahsoka print. Yes.
And she's telling everyone, it was right there. It was telling everyone what's happening.
If anyone can decipher what it says around the triangle, that would be an interesting. Maybe there's a clue in there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not Arabesh.
I haven't figured it out yet. I'm going to ask her next week at the show.
Oh, okay, good. Well, speaking of a sister print, there's an art piece by Lynn Z that's also showcasing Ahsoka in her like white robe outfit at the end of Star Wars Rebels, and it has a bunch of Loth wolves in it and Loth cats and Sabine and her, who's going to go off and look for Ezra. Right. Yeah. But this is a sister piece to the art print that I have of Lindsay. It's melding Ahsoka from Rebels and Ahsoka from the Clone Wars. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that one.
And so it has a bunch of like the Convor and some Loth cats and things. Yeah, but it's really pretty because it's a different color scheme, but side by side they'd look neat together. Yeah,
and I'm really happy to see Lindsay back too. That's I've always dug her name because it's two words, Lynn and Z, but you say Lindsay, I guess, right? I don't know, or is it Lynn? I don't know.
I just say Lindsay.
It's just a cool name.
Yeah.
But it's kind of like Madonna or Cher or Beyonce, Lindsay.
Right.
Well, what about you, Richard? Is there a piece that you like?
Yes, we have a visitor.
Oh, nice.
That's my favorite one.
What's another piece you'd like to showcase? How about that?
Let's see here. There's so many. There's so many that are just beautiful. There's one with all of Grogu's, but there's that Krykna spider almost grabbing Grogu, which that kind of freaks me out. It looks like a face hugger is about to grab Grogu.
Okay, but the name of this piece is really funny. Art Gugro by Shyla Lee.
Right. I didn't understand that title I mean, obviously it's backwards, so it's supposed to be like Yoda talking, maybe?
Well, no, I think it's Grogu just eats goo. So he's eating in all the different 5 iterations. So he's just eating goo. So goo, and it makes him grow. I don't know. That's what I got out of it.
It's beautiful print. Yeah, I guess he is eating all these different gooey things, isn't he? Yeah.
Joe Hogan focused on Tales of the Jedi, and this is a beautiful piece of work that goes through all of the shorts from Tales of the Jedi.
Makes me think of your piece, Jason, from last celebration.
The Death Star.
The Death Star, where you had the different levels.
With the many layers,
Yeah, showing each story in the levels.
Joe is really knocking it out of the park over the past year. Last celebration, he did all the clone trooper helmets. There was 100 of them.
Wow.
All in one print. That was beautifully done. He has a handful of new prints that have come out over the past month or two with Acme. And this one is fantastic too. I mean, that short series was like a gem for us. It was so wonderful to watch those.
Well, the fact that in this print, Dooku is right smack dab in the middle, but he's shrouded in blue light. I find that very interesting because we know which way he goes after he squashes Yaddle.
But he's got the devil on his right shoulder with the Emperor.
And Qui-Gon on his other shoulder.
Yeah.
And right beside Qui-Gon is Yaddle, hoping this big giant door doesn't squish her.
Wow, yeah.
Yaddle, this day's not going to end well for you. But the fact that Dooku is in blue, I'm very, very curious about.
I will ask him.
I'm really liking this Andor piece by Sam Gilby. Every day we wait, they get stronger.
Looks like a poster for Andor.
It's very Star Wars typical poster, with their collage. Star Wars loves their collages. I really love how the bottom 2 characters' outfits blend in with the background of the table area at the lower half of the print.
Oh, yeah.
What a great series that was, huh, guys? Dang.
Andor, yeah, fantastic.
Amazing.
Fantastic. And the fact that Kino Loy, Andy Serkis, is doing his unprogrammed pose with his hands behind his head.
Yeah. I like how he included the light show in the sky, too. That was a great episode.
Oh, right.
I love Eric Maul's piece of Padme.
That's harkening back to Renaissance paintings?
Yes. Yeah. Eric has done a lot of paintings that are similar to the Mona Lisa. And he did an entire book about this, actually. He'll probably have them at the show. Of not just his work, mimicking the Mona Lisa style, but how many other pieces in the world have been done because of that piece and its influence. And it's just a fantastic book.
Wow.
So he's done a handful of prints just like this.
And it's called Gioconda Amidala. And it says here in the write-up that La Gioconda means the smiling woman.
Or Mona Lisa.
Right.
So that's what Italians call Mona Lisa. Yeah.
Okay. But looking at Padme, she ain't smiling.
I think this print got in last year's celebration, but he had to pull out at the last minute. And he resubmitted it and got it back in again. So I'm really happy for him.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is after she and Anakin had just spent a night together. You think she would be smiling.
A little Japor snippet right there.
Yeah, we won't go any further with that one.
Wow.
All right, so Jason, when the Skywalkers come to Celebration Europe and they want to find you, do you have a booth number or a table number yet?
Well, it is in the art show is always in the Acme Gallery area. I know we're in the North Hall, N511 something or other. Anyways, if you go we're all the way as far north as you can go in the show. So if you go in the North Hall and you go all the way back, I think we have Star Wars Kids Stage on one side of us and fan prop thing on the other side of us. Lego shop is right near us. You should be able to find us fairly easily in the North building. So
that's some great real estate. Being next to a big giant TIE fighter or Rancor and Legos.
Right?
Oh.
Well, Jason, where can our Skywalkers find you on social media?
My biggest social media is Instagram. My handle on there is Star Wars Artist. No spaces.
You got that early.
I did. You'd think I would have a lot of followers for how long I've had it, but I just let it grow organically on its own. I think I'm almost to 1,400. Woohoo!
Nice job.
Yeah. Well, hey, after 8 or 9 years, that's what, 5? I don't know. I can't do math. But anyways, it's not a lot. But again, I'm not out there trying to become the biggest Instagram Star Wars artist. I just want people to follow me if they want to.
Nice.
Now, can you take us out with a probe droid? Map.
Part of the system. Part of the system. I don't know. Is that good?
See, okay. So what do you hear? What do you hear when the probe droid is talking?
I actually hear the word system.
Really? Okay.
I hear map.
I hear Battle of Sexes, Battle of Sex, Battle of Sexes. I don't know why.
And you think you would have grown up in the 70s, too.
It's like that TikTok thing where you can hear 2 different words, like green laser or brain freeze.
So if anyone comes up to you at Celebration and gives you the secret word of Probot, what do they get?
They will get an extra piece of swag. This year, my swag is waxed, sealed emblems with an adhesive peel back, so you can put it on an envelope or whatever, like you did your own stamp seal kind of thing. So I have like Death Stars and Mando helmets and things like that pressed into wax.
That's cool.
An adhesive back to it. Yeah, it's something fun to hand out. You don't see it. I tried to do something that you don't see very often.
Well, I didn't mean to put you on the spot, but I'm glad I did.
That's neat.
All right, Skywalkers, if you want extra swag, you know what to say. Probot.
And follow Star Wars Artist on Instagram.
It's always a great time speaking with Jason. And remember, all you have to say is Probot to get some extra special swag.
Now, you will never find a more wretched hive of scum and villainy than you will at #Cantina.
This April, Star Wars fans will have plenty of reasons to party. On April the 6th, you can kick off Celebration with Boonta Eve, then rest up because there is another huge event held on April the 9th.
#Cantina is a huge Star Wars party with numerous guests and great bands. And here to get us excited are organizers Martin Keeler, Jed Shepherd, and Mark Hamilton.
Hey, everybody.
Hey.
We are so excited to have you on and get everyone hyped up for #Cantina. However, seeing all your Facebook posts, I think people are already there.
Is it true you guys aren't there?
Correct.
We'll be there in spirit.
Yeah.
You know what? Maybe if you did a big field trip to Long Beach, California, that would be really, really beneficial for us.
Consider it done.
How about #Cantina Long Beach? Let's just get right down to the nitty gritty. All right, now before we get started on 2023, let's go back a little bit and give us some background on #Cantina, going back to when it was first held in 2016, Martin?
Yeah, so 2016, I believe Jed and I came on Skywalking Through Neverland quite nervous at the time because we'd never done this before, so we were a bit like, how are we going to sell this when we haven't actually done it ourselves before? But we put on an event with Ash headlined. It was a much smaller venue than we've gone for this time, and yeah, it was an incredible party. There was Ash, Darth Elvis, Blues Harvest, DJ Elliott played, so you're going to notice a similar lineup here. But we also did themed cocktails, and there was a few sort of bits and bobs that happened. But as brilliant as it was, and genuinely, it was probably one of the happiest nights I've had that everything came together. I know Jed was in the same place. We did do a sort of, but what could we do better discussion? And the thing for us was about it being more themed and because it was a gig. It was like music and it was drinks. It was great. But we wanted it more themed, more that you would do for Star Wars fans, and we sort of kept mulling over it going, if we do it again, what would we do? And then obviously with it coming back into London, that opportunity's come up.
Absolutely. So let's kind of go around and say you guys are all organizers, but what are you in charge of organizing? So Martin, let's start with you.
Making sure everyone gets there at the right time, does what they're supposed to do at the right time, is in the right place at the right time, walks the stage at the right time. Everyone gets paid what they should get paid, and all the logistics are in place. That's my job. Really exciting.
Producing.
Yeah.
Executive producing.
Yes.
All right. How about you, Jed? What's your role in #Cantina?
My role is along with Marcus, some of the creative stuff. Even though obviously Martin does feed into that too. One of the differences between the 2023 version and the 2016 version, like Martin says, is it's a little bit more themed. So we have we want to immerse you in this world. Don't forget, it is still a concert, but we still want to immerse you in this world of the Cantina. So one of the things I have to do is create a narrative that runs throughout the whole night, which we did last time to a small degree and was very popular. This time we're going to go a little bit bigger, more special guests appearing, more visuals, which is really, really exciting. And yeah, and then there's merch, and then there's cocktails. Cocktails were extremely important last time. The venue that we did it in last time, which is also in the O2 Arena, so the O2 Millennium Dome, which is where this is again. It had its best ever bar takings that night, so they were very happy with us. Unfortunately, that venue has now closed, so now we have upgraded to a bigger venue, 3 times the size, 3 times the fun.
Yep.
So it's 3 times the anxiety, some people would say, but it's 3 times the fun. And yeah, so it's gonna be insane. We'll get onto the specifics in a bit, but I'll let Mark say what he's doing.
It's really important what Jed just said. Like the venue we've got, like, because the first Cantina was so successful, and I don't mean that in a big-headed way. I mean it kind of was just a great night.
Well, it was trending. It was trending all over the world. So go ahead, pat yourself on the back for that.
But then we went to the Indigo to say, can we do it here? The Indigo's a venue that Prince has played, right? This is not a small, insignificant venue. So for us to walk in and say, oh, we want to do a one-off party, is that cool? We were quite blown away by how our reputation had kind of preceded us from doing the Brooklyn Bowl.
Now, when you say the O2 and the Indigo, having never been there, is the Indigo inside of the O2 Arena?
Yeah, so it's a massive complex. So you've got shops, you've got restaurants, which are really important, and lots of facilities. And then in the middle of it, you've got an arena-sized venue. So Elton John's playing there that night.
Yeah, I don't know any of those names, but go on.
No, but then when you walk in, there's a 3,000 capacity venue called the Indigo, which is normally where all the after parties happen, or gigs of this size. And that's where we are. So we're right as you walk in. It's indoors. Everything's incredibly safe, and corporate is brilliant. But it's this massive complex. It's like well known. I think it was designed by the tour manager of U2, wasn't it, for the acoustics and things like that. It's like absolute high-end venue.
Yeah, once again, I don't know any of those names. If you want to talk the Monkees, Duran Duran.
The Monkees would be playing there. Yeah, the Monkees would be playing there. Yeah.
All right, and one of the bands playing is Ash and Mark Hamilton. This is where you come in. So you are the bass player for Ash and one of the organizers for #Cantina.
Yeah, I've been a friend of Martin and Jed's for like a long time, and I obviously helped them sort of like make the first Cantina happen, but I wasn't really a part of the official organizers. And then we sort of like were talking about it this time around, and they were just like, I was like, what can we do that can, because obviously the first one was really, really great fun and successful, and I was like, if I want to get involved, I want this to be literally the best Star Wars party that's ever been thrown in the history of any Star Wars parties. And so I was just like, Martin, can we do this? Can we have this is where I sort of censor myself. Can we do this thing and make that happen? And he'll go, maybe we could do that. And so it's me and Jed sort of like brainstorming and like throwing ideas at each other. Can we do this spectacle? It's all about spectacle. We want like viral photo things to happen without saying, because there's certain things that we can't. You have to go there. You have to go there to be able to see it, right? So for me, it's like, it's all about spectacle. I want it to be like, people will come away from that going, I can't believe what I just witnessed,
Nice.
Wow. Now, is Ash considered a Star Wars band?
Our first album was called 1977, which was obviously the year in Star Wars A New Hope was released. Also, I mean, the two of me and the singer, that was the year that we were born. Our first album started with a TIE fighter flying past. We didn't get any permissions. We just sort of like sampled it and put it on there, and then that album went #1 in the charts in the UK, went like multi-platinum around the world. And we could have got sued by Lucasfilm, but instead of them suing us, they actually used us to help promote the special editions in like whenever they first rolled out. And that led to us then being invited by Ewan McGregor to play at the wrap party for the Phantom Menace, and then playing for ILM on the West Coast for like Lucasfilm, and then eventually recording music for the Republic Commando game. Just like lots of little tie-ins like that. And so I guess it started out from us just being fanboys to then actually being sort of like, known for fanboys.
Is that Star Wars enough for you guys?
I was gonna say that
qualifies.
checks off the Star Wars type of band.
That's amazing.
Well, I've got to load this because this is going to make your mind explode. Mark, tell them where you played in the rap party, what the venue was.
In the Theed hangar, like surrounded by the N1 fighters, and like they built us a stage in Theed hangar.
Wow, the Theed hangar.
A little bit of background to that. So like we had been out on tour. That was like around 95, 96, and we had recorded like a tour documentary. And Ewan McGregor actually, that was around the time just after Trainspotting had come out. He was like the biggest thing in the UK, and he had done a lot of voice acting and stuff. And he narrated this tour movie that we recorded or produced ourselves. And then we were hanging out in a pub after he had recorded the sort of like the voiceover, the voiceover sessions. And he was just like, I knew that this is before the Phantom Menace had been released, and I knew that he was involved because I was like on all the old websites at the time. So I was like chatting to him about it in the bar after he had done the voiceover work, and he went away for like a couple of minutes and came back, and he had just been on a phone call, and he said, "Are you guys free in like 2 days' time?" And we were like, "Why? What? Why?" He goes, "You want to play at the rap party for the Phantom Menace?" We're like, "Okay, we can do that."
Yeah, let me check my schedule. Yeah.
Boy, I'm going to the dentist that day. I got a haircut, so can we push it back?
We were like in a little white van driving into Leafson Studios, and there was like the statues, like for the Naboo statues, like in the field, like over onto one side, and I'm looking at this stuff, going, this is very, very surreal. And then we sort of like pulled up into like the sound stages, and there was like the Theed Annex, the Naboo hangar, all of these sets that I hadn't yet seen but I'd heard about. So it was pretty amazing.
Boy, how do you focus? How do you focus on your music when you're surrounded by all these new Star Wars spaceships?
Well, exactly. And then we're literally playing a show in front of all the cast and crew of the movie. So like George was there, like Liam Neeson. We were actually playing the Cantina music, which we recorded as a B-side for one of our singles.
Aww.
To look out over the crowd and see George Lucas looking back at you while you're playing like John Williams Cantina Band music was very surreal, because we were still very young. We were like only 18 at the time.
Wow.
At 18, I was bagging groceries. All right. Also playing as musical guests at #Cantina will be Blues Harvest and Darth Elvis.
Yeah.
Did they ever play a rap party for the Star Wars prequels? I don't know.
Well, Blues Harvest have just played the Mandalorian launch event in London.
I stand corrected.
They've the Forge. They played for Pedro and Jon Favreau.
And us. And they played for us, Martin. Yeah.
Well, and not only will guests hear all this awesome music, but you have so many great Star Wars celebrity guests.
Yeah, they're going to be signing. So can you tell us the lineup of these amazing guests?
Yeah, so name the actor and then tell us who they played.
Okay, so this is literally in order because it's like bang, 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 bang. And it is a weird thing that we're doing signings at a gig, but we've worked out how to do it. Everyone's up for it. It's really exciting. So first up, we got Garrick Hagon, Beaks, Dark Lighter himself. Wouldn't be a Cantina without Greedo, so we've got Paul Blake in. He's going to be signing, having photos taken. Very hot at the moment, I think, is Matt Denton, who we've billed highly as Babu Frick, but he's done loads of puppets. But you've got to have Babu Frick if you're there.
I just want to get a shot of him saying, hey, hey.
Hey, hey.
Hey, hey, exactly. So I'm sure we'll be able to sort that. Tom Wilton, who's, again, played many creatures, but that includes Ponda Baba in Rogue One. So we got a Ponda Baba in Cantina. Simon Williamson, Max Rebo. Yes!
Yep.
Paul Casey, who's done so many characters, but probably best known in Rogue One for Admiral Raddus. And I'm pretty sure we're going to have an Admiral Raddus there as well, which will be an amazing thing to see, because I'm not sure Paul Casey's met the costumer yet. So that'll be cool. And this one I'm really excited about. I think you guys will be as well, because you're into that. But we've got Robert Strange, who is Hondo in Galaxy's Edge on the video screen. He's the only live action person. So still Jim Cummings' voice, but he played Hondo in that. I'm really excited that he's going to be at Cantina.
I'm really excited that his last name is Strange.
Yeah. Yeah, it's quite handy, isn't it?
He just needs to get a PhD and then he'll be Doctor Strange.
It'll be Doctor Strange. Yeah. But it was it. We got Addy Seacombe, who's Watto in the prequels, and again, you guys probably don't know him as well as he's in the UK, but we've got Lewis MacLeod, who's Sebulba, but Lewis MacLeod's like an international impersonator, impressionist, like comedian. So he's a real coup to get to come to here, but obviously we're billing him as Sebulba because it's Star Wars. And then just to make people really feel FOMO, we do have a VIP ticket that has completely sold out, so you can't get these. But in the VIP room, we've got the Imperials, where we've got Michael Culver, who's Captain Neda, Ken Colley, Admiral Piet, and the amazing Julian Glover.
Didn't he just turn 88 years old?
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
That's not a bad lineup.
No.
Yeah. You left out the Star of Andor.
I did. That's the last one we announced, wasn't it? Yeah, Dave Chapman, B2 Ibu.
Oh, B2 emo. Yeah. Oh.
Now, is Dave Chapman really inside that little tiny droid?
He is, yeah. It's really weird when you see him because he sort of paints himself red.
Yeah, boy. You got to be a contortionist to get inside that little droid, but hey, if he can do it, he's like the new Kenny Baker.
Yeah.
And Martin, I wonder, because this is coming out in a couple of days, I wonder if we can see who the host is, because we should be able to reveal that in a day or so.
I'll leave it to you, Jed.
Oh, exclusive, Jed.
Oh no, you do it, Martin. So you're to blame to get right. Okay. So the MC for the night, going to be on stage introducing the bands and being part of, as much as possible, part of the narrative of the night is someone who plays a very well-known and well-loved character. It's Brian Herring, who is the person behind BB-8. So essentially we have BB-8 hosting the night, which is going to be incredible. And if you've ever met Brian Herring, he is a really, really funny guy. So it's going to be great.
Will he be dressed as BB-8? Oh, please say yes.
He won't be dressed as BB-8, but there'll be, you never know who might turn up.
That's so cool. And just to know, all these people you can get autographs from, but this is like an extra charge, right? So
that's right.
There is a price range for autographs. What price range should people be expecting?
So we're going to publish them fully next week, but they're ranging from sort of £25 an autograph. Some of the bigger names will probably be £35. And they'll all be available for selfies for about £20 or £30, depending on how. And there's going to be special selfies, because when are you going to get to have a selfie with Greedo at a gig?
Oh, I recommend everyone get Julian Glover, because he's 88 years old.
Yeah.
Well, we want everyone to buy Paul Blake a shot. So you can have a photo signing who's having their shot first.
That should be an extra price.
That's amazing.
It should be, shouldn't it? Yeah.
I don't know how to do the conversion English to dollars. So for those of us who can't do it, what is like the dollar cents in that?
It's probably about $32, $33 equivalent. So I like to think it's a very reasonable price compared to what people are used to paying.
Yeah.
It's a fraction of
They're
Celebration.
doing it for regular convention prices here in the UK.
All of them together equals one Hayden Christensen.
Yeah.
None of them are actually appearing at Celebration, right? So they're all exclusive for the weekend.
They're all exclusive to us.
Wow.
That boggles the mind. They're all Star Wars veterans.
Well, I think Celebration is concentrating on the current stars, right?
I know. It's a great thing that you guys are putting this together, and Spencer Jowitz and Frank Rich are doing Boon to Eve, just to give love to the vintage stars of Star Wars.
Yeah. And it was an easy decision for us when it came about because, we've got a venue that can accommodate it. They want to be part of Star Wars and with the fans. So the answer, when we first started doing this, we hadn't even thought about that. And when the opportunity came up, it was, we're going to do it. We just need to work out how.
Right.
This is like the first of its kind. We've been calling it a convention, a con festival, like half convention, half festival, because we don't know what it is. Because essentially it's a concert, but at the sides there's going to be Star Wars luminaries sign and stuff. So it's a new thing.
It's definitely new. And what is the timing of the night? Like, how long is this event?
So doors open at 6:30.
Is that English time or American time?
Very much English time. What with it being over here in England.
Okay, but rock and roll time, 6:30 means midnight.
Oh well, Mark will be just waking up about then, won't you? Just be start limbering up at that point. No, so 6:30 is doors open. Level Up Leroy DJ, who I think you met in Chicago, didn't you? When we did the bash, he was the DJ.
Yeah. And Force Fest.
Force Fest
as well.
And Force Fest, yeah. So he's opening the show. Blues Harvest are on after him, probably about 7:30. And we did say Darth Elvis is playing. We forgot to mention it's Darth Elvis's last ever public gig.
Oh.
All right, this is the last time he's performing in public.
Wow.
Oh.
So is he retiring?
Well, we'll have those that are there will find out his fate.
Oh.
He's leaving the building permanently.
Yeah. Maybe he'll be turned into an Andor brick.
Oh, okay. So now we get the better picture.
Yeah. But it's absolutely, he announced it's his last public gig. So you're going to see Darth Elvis, and we haven't mentioned either, Mike Quinn is joining Blues Harvest.
Really?
Oh my gosh.
So for anyone who went to the bash in Anaheim, you would have seen Mike Quinn play with Flux Capacitors. I think he did Rebel Yell. I'm super excited, but not as excited as Jed is. We know what Mike Quinn's performing, and it is amazing.
Now, for anyone who doesn't know, Mike Quinn, past guest of the show, he's also the puppeteer for Nine Numb, Cy Snoodles, and a lot of stuff on Return of the Jedi, as well as the Star Wars sequels.
But also, we've got a few tricks up our sleeve as well. We've got some guests, one that is 100% confirmed who will be there, who is a A-lister Star Wars person. How much can we...
Mark, is it 100% confirmed, or is it 88% confirmed? Yeah, so it's going to be it's a celebrity who's in the Star Wars world, but was also extremely popular for various different other things as well. He's also known as a musician, maybe more in the UK than here.
Back!
Yeah, so he's going to be...
Can we also say that he's very popular in the
yes,
shadows?
He is very popular in the shadows.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah. God knows what he does there.
So imagine him performing with Ash on stage, whoever this person is, and he may not be the only one too. We're still holding out for someone actually even bigger, who we may have already mentioned in this conversation.
Guillermo?
It's definitely someone familiar.
There's little hints there.
Yeah.
Little hints. Okay. You got to put it all together.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like we've been saying, this is going to be an event. It trended worldwide last time. This time we're hoping to break the internet with some of the stuff we've got planned. You will I mean, you need to kind of probably calm down on all the amazing cocktails we're going to be serving to you, because you won't believe your eyes when you see what you see on stage. And also just all around you as well. There's going to be, obviously, we've got costumers galore. People will be coming straight from Celebration, so they'll be in costume, or some people will be in costume. And there's the Star Wars cocktails. There's amazing stuff happening on stage, amazing theming all around. Crazy things happen throughout the night. We have this narrative. We have the DJs. We have incredible music, and we haven't mentioned the merch either. We've got exclusive limited edition Cantina merch, which you can only get at Cantina. People are messaging us from around the world wanting to get our merch. Like, can we pre-order it? We can't turn up. We'll get someone else. No, you have to be a Cantina. And the greatest thing about Cantina is we have purposely put the price as low as physically possible. So it's only £36 to get in for all of that, to see this probably once in a lifetime event.
Yeah. £36 is less than $45.
A lot of people will be at Celebration anyway, and it is the closest venue to Celebration. You come out of the Excel Centre, you look to your left, there's a cable car, you get in the cable car, a few minutes in the cable car, it drops you outside the venue.
Wow.
Sarah, maybe we can fly in for the night.
I know, right? That's amazing. So are tickets still left, and how can people buy tickets?
Yeah, so tickets are still left there's about small amount of tickets for the balcony area and the main floor. You can still get tickets, or the VIP is sold out, sadly. Well, not sadly, that's great, but for people who are going, I want the VIP, that's sad news. And you can get them from www.thisiscantina.com, which has everything that we're doing on there. Or you can go straight to the Indigo at the O2 website, and you'll find Cantina on there. Actually, we're quite pleased this week. The O2 Arena have put it on the front page as the gig to go to. Like, we're higher than Elton John on their list of gigs to go to. That puts it where it is. Yeah.
Well, good reason.
Yeah, and you can go to axs.com, which is the ticket agent for the O2, and they got them as well. But www.thisiscantina.com is definitely the best place to go, because you can find out everything about what's going on, including we'll update it probably over the weekend with the prices of the autographs.
So for those of us who can't go, will there be any live streaming or any kind of things
social media
to watch for?
We're thoroughly encouraging people to take videos and photos. Like last time, we really didn't know what we were doing, so we were amazed how it trended worldwide, just with everyone talking about it and posting videos and photos. And we expect that to be on a different level now. Social media is kind of ubiquitous, and there's many more platforms. So yeah, we'll be heavily encouraging that, and you won't be able to help yourself when you see the guests that we've got, the secrets that we're trying so hard to like keep under wraps.
If we were to do an official live stream, there would be like all of these hoops that we got to jump through to make it happen because of a very big corporate venue. But with the fact that anyone can live stream from their phone, there are going to be videos out there.
Yeah, a lot of videos. Yeah.
And there's going to be 3 photographers, and there's a reason why I'm saying this. And Mark and Jed won't know why I've suddenly said, "What about the photographers?" We got a guy called Ian Knight, took some amazing photographs last time we were there. Mark, you've got the lady who does a lot of Ash photographs, haven't you, in the pit? I can't remember her name. What's her name? But also, Brian Sim will also be doing some photos.
Oh, so now you're speaking our language. Brian Sims. Oh,
that's fantastic.
Yeah.
He is a fabulous photographer.
Yeah. You'll definitely get to see what happens, but it won't be quite the same as being there.
Wow. Now that we're just about a little less than 2 weeks away, sorry to scare you, is all the planning done? Are there a lot of I's to dot and T's to cross? You still have 4 weeks of work to do in 2 weeks?
Like last time, we were doing stuff till the day, just due to the nature of this gig. There's a lot of things that we won't know until the day, and it's both exciting and scary. But we're doing as much as we can up until the actual day. But yeah, there's a few things that, if they fall into place, like it'll be legendary. It'll be absolutely legendary.
Wow.
There's a couple that we know that we won't know until the day.
Oh, wow. Nerve-wracking.
Yeah.
And since this is going to be held on Easter Sunday, will there be any representation of Hoojibs or Jacksons or any kind of Star Wars bunnies?
There may not be a physical representation of Jacksons, but Jackson will be very much represented in two ways.
Jackson will be on stage to some extent, right?
To some extent. So Nick Brockenshire, the illustrator, who's done the cover for the Jackson exclusive Star Wars Celebration, he is the lead singer and guitarist, he's the guitarist now of Blues Harvest.
Wow.
So he will be on stage.
Yeah.
And that's it. He may be bringing some of his friends.
Are his friends Hoojibs?
Yeah, Hoojibs were linked as well, yeah.
Oh, man.
I know,
Oh,
right?
man. Oh, why? Why did they have to have this on Easter weekend?
Yeah. On Easter Day.
Do you know what? I didn't even know it was on Easter. I was like, oh, okay, wow. We better get some eggs. Get some Easter eggs on the merch stand.
Well, so Skywalkers, make sure you head to thisiscantina.com, or if you're in the 90s, go to www.thisiscantina.com.
There you go. That was me. Right? That's where I'm living.
I thought that was cute, Martin. Awesome. Oh. Thank you, guys.
If you use your dial-up internet, yes, then go to
http/:/ yeah, awesome.
You know what? If you can send me that on my beeper, then I'll have it, and I can do it later on.
I love it.
All right. Now to wrap it up, do you have a catchphrase for hashtag Cantina? Hey, may the force be with you, Tilda Spire.
No more ideas, lads. No more ideas.
Happy Hoojibs.
Well, that wraps up episode 413 of Skywalking Through Neverland. We want to thank Jason Christman, Martin Keeler, Jed Shepherd, and Mark Hamilton for coming on the show. And all of you Skywalkers who comment, like, and chat with us, and share our videos. Oh my gosh, that's like probably the #1 way you can help. We love it, Skywalkers.
Yeah, please share. Share the YouTube, share the Instagram, share everything, because our numbers are going up. And once you start that momentum, it's not that hard to keep it going. You just gotta get all your friends to keep on sharing.
Yeah, so thank you for your help, you guys. You are amazing.
Now, are you interested in our book, Today in Star Wars History, Part 1 and Part 2? Well, autographed copies of both books, both tomes, are available through skywalkingthroughneverland.com/book.
And coming May the 4th, we will also have Skywalking Through My Fandom, the companion workbook.
Now, we want to thank our sponsor once again, Small World Vacations, for their support. Thinking of a trip to a Disney park or the Galactic Star Cruiser? Well, you can fill out a Get a Quote form at smallworldvacations.com today. Their vacation planning service is free of charge, so check it out and tell them Skywalking Through Neverland sent you.
Now, do you listen to this show every week? Do you watch our YouTube? Would you like to support Skywalking Through Neverland? Because this does not happen without you. You guys are the reason we do this. Well, you can consider supporting us through the Skywalking Force, which is our Patreon. And the Skywalking Force has access to bonus content in the form of our Zoom discussions on the latest Disney Plus shows, like, The Bad Batch, and
Mandalorian Season 3.
That's right.
We've been doing these since WandaVision.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Back in 1985, was that?
Yeah. There's lots of bonus content. And also, you get coupon codes for our books, including Skywalking Through My Fandom. So if you want to sign up, now is the time. This bonus content begins at only $5 a month. So head to skywalkingforce.com, have a look at the options, and thank you so much to those of you who are already part of the Skywalking Force.
Now, we are part of the Skywalking Network,
Skynet,
where you can find other great shows like Talking Apes,
the Max Effects Podcast,
the Neverland Clubhouse,
Totally Tell Me Everything,
Star Warsologies,
and the YouTube shows Collectopolis
and Today in Star Wars History.
Once again, you can find us on YouTube. Just search Skywalking Through Neverland. We are also at Skywalking Pod for Twitter and Instagram. And please join our Facebook group. This is Skywalking Through Neverland on Facebook. You can email us, share@skywalkingthroughneverland.com.
Now, don't forget to stick around for bloopers and other fun stuff that didn't make it into the show. And
always remember
to say Probot.
And
Neverland on Alderaan. Some imagination, huh?
To our Skywalkers and Tweetwalkers, thanks for listening. Skywalking Through Neverland is created and produced by Richard and Sarah Woloski. Original music by Rob Dellinger. Creative consultant Mark Augushowitz. Technical advisor Peter Heitman. Facebook administrators Donald Wicks, Joey Pittman, and Norma Heitman.
Skywalking Through Neverland is intended for entertainment and information purposes only. Any sounds, music, and clips played during this podcast are the property of their copyright holders. All original content is property of Skywalking Through Neverland, all rights reserved. Sorry, had to be said.
There we go. Excellent.
Levels all good?
Yeah.
Yeah, except I lost my mouse.
We got a couple of rats outside running around if you want to take one of those. I've got a theme for next time. Get all these Star Wars writers and directors who have been fired over the last 10 years, and we'll do like a big show with them. The list keeps growing.
We don't have space. We don't have capacity for all of the ones that have been fired. We need a bigger venue.
Oh, don't, because I know what's going to happen now. Jed's going to write it in the morning.
That is great. I'm literally writing that down. That is great.
This just in, new headline. Disney Studios was just fired by Disney Studios from future Star Wars films.
I wonder how long before they fire someone before they announce the person.
Well, I think they've literally just done that.
Now, if you're one of the filmmakers on the Lucasfilm Future panels, you got to start worrying.
Yeah.
So much of a good time that'll be edited out.
Okay.